Let's focus our energies, please. So we've got our fight for freedom. That's good. All right, now this one we talked about a lot, so I'm sorry that it's maybe obvious. Okay. During Halloween, this is written exactly like it's written on the paper every time. There is a lot
Is that the beginning of the sentence?
of
During
candy.
Halloween?
Yep, exactly like it's written on the page. Candy given out.
Oh, no, capital, no, nothing.
Okay, we're not going to use double negatives in my classroom.
No,
No nothing. You just said no nothing. No double negatives. All right. All right, I know. Here we go. So we got during Halloween, there is a lot of candy given out. Let's go back to our topic sentence to define whether or not we have covered the pertinent and necessary information. So, what's needed? Subject.
Subject, Halloween?
Sandra. Subject.
The subject is Halloween, but I was going to ask you, did you copy that the D didn't have a capital or the H didn't have a capital? So, well, there's two mistakes. They both should be capitalized.
Okay, so the first thing that we have to do is we're going to identify our grammar here. Good job. There's our grammar, there's our first thing, okay? So, first grammatical structure error is capital letters.
Comma.
So we're going to fix this. Oh, hang on. During and then when Halloween is a proper noun, isn't it?
It is.
There it is. We got to fix that. All right, got to be conscientious of the details. Now, during Halloween, there is a lot of candy given out. Do we have a separation in this sentence that requires a pause?
Yes.
And what is that separation?
Halloween is there.
Okay.
Period between Halloween and there.
If I walked up to someone and I said, during Halloween, is that enough information? No. So, what information is my subject? What is my subject?
There.
Candy?
No.
It's over there.
What's my verb? What's my object?
A lot. Probably candy. It's
Give it up.
It's a lot. A lot of candy is actually our whole phrase, right? But of candy describes a lot, doesn't it? Our preposition acting as an adjective to describe a lot. So, there is a lot of candy. Tell me something. Now, this particular writer had quite a few stronger sentences than this one. But I picked this one because I want to point out some of the more obvious errors that we can fix. Like capitalization. So let me ask you a question.
Is our
If I rearrange this sentence to be the correct SVO, direct language, what is that? What is it going to look like? It would say this. There is a lot of candy given out on Halloween. Let me ask you a question. Grammatically, is there a problem with that sentence?
Yes.
What is it? Nope.
a lot of candies?
Nope.
There?
Nope. We're running out of words though, so that's good. We're getting to the part where we might have a mistake.
On.
Why?
You can give it out at Halloween, a date.
Nope, because we never put two prepositions together in a sentence. So what word disappears?
Both of them, and replace it with something else.
What word disappears? Huh?
Out.
Good. Why? Because we can still give something, but out is implied, isn't it? Okay. There is a lot of candy given on Halloween. That's good. That's an alright sentence, isn't it? However, if I look at that topic sentence and I said, what's the subject? There is a lot of candy given out.
There is,
There,
How about-
there.
there
Let's-
is candy given on Halloween.
Let's change this sentence. Hold on. We need a subject that is specific and detailed. What is the subject in this sentence we're talking about? What is being given out?
Candy.
A lot of candy.
A lot of candy. Now, who does the giving?
Strangers. To give them-
Strangers. Okay, now, look what I can do here. I'm going to show you something really quick, all right? If I write the word strangers give out, or do I say give? This is one option. If I write this option, do I convey the attitude of the writer? Do I convey the attitude of the writer? What word indicates the attitude of the writer?
Give.
Johnny, you raise your hand, thank you.
Stranger.
Strangers. Why is this giving me an attitude? What attitude is it giving? Go ahead, Maria.
Because it's saying anybody.
No, it's not just because it's saying anybody. When you say the word, a stranger is lurking around the corner, as opposed to a parent, a neighbor, a person, the word itself has a meaning that represents a negative connotation. Okay? So does the word stranger give me an attitude? Yes. Gives me a negative attitude. Okay? Strangers give out a lot of candy on Halloween. Does this tell me the value or the interest that this writer has in presenting this sentence?
Yes.
Why is this important to know?
Who's giving the candy? You're trying to understand what point of view they're trying to represent or communicate.
Okay, all this does for me, Johnny, is tell me that someone gives out candy and that that person might not be a good person.
Yeah.
It has this assumption behind it, right? Okay, now hold on. Why is that important? Why do I care? I don't care. Who cares? So, strangers give out a lot of candy. I know that. I go to random people's houses, they give me candy. It's kind of silly because I'm a big guy, but you know.
You know what
And
the law
I've been
is for
40s.
not giving the kids treats?
Huh?
You know what the law is for not giving the kids treats?
I don't know. There was a law to not give children
They
treats.
egg and TP your house.
Oh, yeah, that's the unspoken law. You're right, you're right. That's why I live in a very dark alley.
Let's not say what kind of candy on Halloween. No?
Nah, I don't know
There's
about
a
that.
lot of
That'd be
candy.
descriptive.
Yeah.
What could I add here?
Person.
A person. No, we don't want to be personal.
Children.
What could I add here? I'm missing the development of this subject. Strangers give a lot of candy on Halloween, which is bad because why? Do you see what I'm saying? Why is that bad? Why is it negative? They're a stranger, I know that. But why is that a bad thing? I got a lot of friends of mine that we get were strangers. Everybody's a stranger at some point.
We tell kids not to talk to strangers.
Okay? You're on the right track. So but how do I word that into a sentence? David, help me out.
I was gonna say maybe, I don't know, there's some cases where it's bad because of the type of candy they're
I don't know about that. We're talking about strangers here.
I mean, with strangers, I went to a stranger's house when I was younger and and that stupid stranger gave me vodka candy, so.
What?
Yes.
What street do you live on?
We're going there on Halloween.
So, you're on the right track, so was Mark. You're both on the right track. There is a reason why this is important.
What if you
put, like, don't take candy from strangers?
Now you're making a statement towards someone, which is not really the purpose of our sentence. We have to build a paragraph.
Oh, okay.
We have to say why it's important that we don't take strangers' candy. But this says strangers give a lot of candy on Halloween. Why is that valuable to know? What do we develop from this? You guys are saying it, you just aren't putting it into the
I like
sentence.
that because it's a tradition.
Hang on, raise your hand, please. Go ahead.
I was curious, strangers, could we take strangers out and put neighbors?
Okay, yes, but it would still mean that now what we've done is change it from a negative to a positive by putting neighbors. So it won't really make a difference. We still have to so we could change neighbors, but we still haven't developed why that's important to know. Why is that important to know? What is the writer developing about this topic? Strangers give out a lot of candy. Okay, fine. So, why is that important to know? Maria?
It's not every day that strangers give candy, it's only on their anniversary.
Okay, that's one reason why it's important to know, because sometimes, what was you said something about it? You said that sometimes strangers, everybody's a stranger, is that right? Was that your statement?
You use the word stranger to a child, and they're gonna think
It's a negative thing, right? That was one thing, because it's bad, because you stay away from strangers. You said because they give you vodka candy. That's not a bad thing.
Because it's a tradition, it's a holiday tradition,
But-
it's part of it.
Yeah, it is, but it's still, I don't care because it doesn't matter. What you're trying to get you guys to see is this. A paragraph has to argue a point. This doesn't argue a point. We agree that this is the case. Strangers give out a lot of candy on Halloween. Okay, yay. Why would I bother to read more? It doesn't tell me anything of value. I don't know the next step. What's the next piece? What is it I'm going to talk about with these strangers giving out candy?
Is it once a year we allow our children to go in circles, allow them to accept candy from strangers?
That's a really big sentence.
Oh, I know.
But I see what your point is.
I have a question.
Hang on, Sheriff. Hands up first.
I would put something like strangers give a lot of candy out on Halloween, comma, so parents beware.
Okay.
No?
But then again, we're making that command, we're commanding people, we're making a statement to command them.
Okay.
Ginger?
But strangers give a lot of candy on Halloween. I think it's like there's a, so then you have to take it to the hospital and get x-rayed.
No, one straight sample,
It's
one
from
straight.
strangers. I don't know.
My question is, how did it come, how did the thing that I don't understand is how did
You know-
Halloween come from, like, celebrating like ghosts and monsters come out to giving candy?
I don't have the answer, the history of Halloween right now, David. But we need to focus on the sentence, okay? So let's stick to the sentence. Go ahead, Sol.
Do we need to describe the candy, like the quality is bad?
Not use strangers.
Guys, I can't hear when you guys are having a conversation privately when we're trying to work as a class. Let's work together, okay?
Like to describe the candies, like which quality of candy, like some bad or.
Okay, so we're on the right
dangerous
track.
candy.
Good. We're on a lot of what kind of candy?
Chocolate candy.
How about tainted? You know that word? Tainted or bad candy? We can just say bad candy. Let's stick to words that we know a little better. A lot of bad candy.
Strangers give big candy.
All after this, I don't want to.
But then there's a problem with the word bad.
All candy's bad for you.
Yeah, and some candy tastes good to some people and bad to others, right? Okay, I'm not a big fan, so we gotta change the
They give
sentence.
a lot of treats. They give a lot of different candy.
Sometimes they give you both.
Sometimes
Why
they
does
give
this
you money.
matter? You guys still are not listening to the question I'm asking. Why does this matter?
They give you a lot of candy on
Because we
Halloween.
do not talk to strangers. We teach our children not to talk to strangers. Michelin, you offered me that answer, but we don't know how to put that into a sentence. So why does this matter? During Halloween, there's a lot of candy given out. Okay. Here's what I would respond to that sentence. And your point is, I know this. Everybody who lives in the United States knows this. People who live in Europe even know this. Halloween, All Saints Day. These are practiced holidays, right? So on Halloween, kids get candy. We know this. There's nothing to prove. There's nothing to tell. All you're doing is exposing information. You can continue and tell me this, but the paragraph doesn't have any weight. So I need a topic sentence that can give me some weight. I need a topic sentence that can tell me why it's important that I read on. Why am I going to read on? Saul?
a stranger or a neighbor given poison candy.
Okay, so now I've got this. I've got, so we've implied that it's negative. Strangers, we say
Put
often,
poison in the
sometimes.
candy. Sometimes put poison in the candy.
Okay. But we're not talking about that because then we're getting too far away from our original statement. So we're saying strangers often give poison, candy to who? Now I have something to work with.
Well, it isn't just candy that people give out, it's kind of just, special sugary treats, not just candy.
Sometimes it is sugary treats, you're right, but most sugary treats could be defined as candy, right?
When you don't want to go to a dentist's house and you know what he's gonna give you.
There are lots of possibilities for this particular paragraph and this subject matter. So let's just see what we can come with when we have, all we're trying to do is come up with one sentence that helps our writer, okay? Everybody in here wrote a sentence? Want to make sure we try to fix them for them. Strangers often give poison candy to children on Halloween. Okay. That's a good sentence. It implies a negative, gives us the attitude. Tells us why it's important to note this. Anybody tells you they give out poison candy, it's going to make me go, really?
Strangers often give poison candy.
They do this on a regular basis? Often? See what I'm saying? To children? Oh my God, it holds an impact. It makes people stop and continue reading. They want to continue reading. Okay? They stop, they take it in, they go, oh, it has that moment of, and then they read on. Okay, that's why we do this. That's why we're changing sentences. Let's continue. Let's do another one. Have you guys got this? If you wrote this, make sure you rewrite it the way that we're writing it on the board because you're going to need it for homework.
Strangers give a lot of candy on Halloween.
Strangers give poison candy to children on Halloween. Often give. Strangers often give poison candy to children on Halloween.
That's the sentence we stuck with?
That is the sentence we stuck with.
Okay.
So write that down.
Yeah,
You should have these sentences in your journals. That's what I told you to do. Write them down. You're going to be asked to do an assignment on these in the near future. So you're going to have these. If you don't have them, I can't help you. You're not going to pass the assignment. So, strangers often give poison candy. Let's write one more. We're going to keep going because I want everyone to have an opportunity to get help. Okay. Okay, here we go. This brings future cars. One of my favorite subjects. That takes you from point A to B. What's funny about this, the reason I laugh is because my father, throughout my life, used to tell me vehicles are only to take you from point A to point B. You should not worry what they look like or the style or any of that stuff. It shouldn't matter. Okay, because I always wanted to have the cooler car. It didn't matter what car I had, there was always a cooler car. And so I'd spend all this money trying to get the cooler car.
You said your father?
My dad used to tell me it was point A to point B only. We get in big fights about it because I'd always bring junkers home and tell them I was going to fix them up. Future cars that take from point A to point B without touching your driving wheel. Okay.
I'd like to have one of those.
Hold on.
No more junk.
They're making them soon. It's a Google. Isn't there a Google car that drives for you?
Yeah. No more.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
No more drunk driving.
GPS. You shouldn't be drunk driving to begin with, Johnny.
He told on himself.
GPS guide.
No, I'm just saying for people who don't want to pay for a taxi, they want to get
That's
drunk.
true. Guides the car to
No more getting
its
pulled over.
destination. Okay.
That's like low margin.
Notice that this writer.
Guys, the car.
Notice that this writer did something here. What did they do? Help me out. What did they do? What do you see? What do you notice?
Punctuation.
Punctuation. What kind of punctuation?
Comma.
No.
No?
There's more there. It's not a comma. There is a comma there. You're right. But there's something else there.
You have two sentences.
No period at the end.
That's a period. So that means I've got two sentences. Okay. Is the second sentence or the first sentence better?
I think my dad needs one of these
I like the
cars.
second one. GPA guys are cartoons.
Okay, good.
Well,
Yes.
This is shorter.
However, GPS guides the car to its destination is actually an example sentence, isn't it? It tells you, so that sentence is great to follow the first sentence, but the first sentence is kind of in need of some revision. So why don't we do this? Let's get rid of this second sentence. Even though it's a nice sentence, a good sentence, I like it, good sentence. And let's look at just our first one. First thing we need to fix.
Future cars.
So first of all, I noticed something.
Without touching.
We've got a couple of mistakes grammatically here. Before we even look at the sentence as a whole, we just have to look at how the words connect. So, future cars takes us. Can a future car takes us somewhere?
No, it drives you.
But it can take us somewhere, can't it? Future cars takes? That doesn't make sense, does it? But future cars, subject verb agreement. We could say a future car takes, right?
Take up the word that.
Or we would write future cars take. See, that's called subject verb agreement. We need to have a singular with a singular. So let's stick to a singular. A future car takes you from point A to point B without touching your driving wheel.
Without touching your.
Okay, so let's look at word choice. Albus?
Instead of takes you, can you put transport?
We could. Let's just stick with the grammar though. And we'll stick with the words that are there first, Elvis, and then come back and tell me again in a minute, all right? Hang on to that thought, and maybe we'll use it in their new sense, okay?
Okay.
All right. Go ahead, Johnny.
I think since we're talking about like future cars here, I think it would be more appropriate to use like a future tense verb phrase, like will take you from.
Aha! That's a good point. A future car.
Will take you from without touching your driving wheel.
Okay, first of all, let me back up just a little bit more. Word choice. Am I going to say a future car that takes you from point A to point B? If I said that out loud, just that, does that make sense?
Future car that takes you from, well, that takes you from point A to B, yeah.
Something is incorrect here. What's the word? What's the word that needs to be removed?
Future car
That.
will take you.
Yeah,
So take
That. Do we include that word? If I were to get rid of that word, what's my verb? If I said a future car, there's my subject, there's my verb, who? Takes who?
Take you.
Then my prepositional phrase. Why is this word that there?
confused the writer.
I could say future cars that take you from point A to point B do something. That makes this verb a phrase. Okay? But if I don't have that, all of a sudden this verb is a verb. A future car takes you from point A to point B. Okay? Cool. I can put a period there, couldn't I? Okay. But if I put a period there, what happens with the meaning? Is that a positive thing? Getting from point A to point B? I think it's a positive thing. It's nice when you get somewhere you're supposed to go. Right? It's positive. It's not negative. Unless you don't want to go there, like jail or something. But a future car probably wouldn't take you there. So that was supposed to be silly, guys. It's okay. You're allowed to laugh. All right, thank you. Okay, sorry. Go ahead. So a future car takes you from point A to point B. Hold on. If you say without touching your driving wheel, does that? I know what it means. But what's a better way? What's a word choice I might use?
Steering.
We don't call it a driving wheel. I've never heard anybody call it a driving wheel. I have heard them call it something else.
Steering wheel.
Steering wheel.
Because a driving wheel could be any number of parts on your car. It could be the tire, the rim, it could be the axle, it could be the driving wheel. A future car takes you from point A to point B without touching your steering wheel. That is a cool sentence. That makes me go, really? I want to read more, doesn't it? It's a pretty cool sentence. However, there's still a problem. What's the problem? We're not writing about our personal experience, and we are not talking to other people.
Personal pronouns.
Instead of point A to B, if you write destination.
No, that's not what I'm looking for as a mistake. This sentence is fine as it is. We don't have to change it too much more. But we're missing, we got a word in here that needs to go, Johnny.
A word that needs to leave, you said?
Yeah.
You, because of personal pronoun.
Okay, that's right, a personal pronoun. If I say a word like you, a future car takes you where you want to go. You know what, I'm not going to buy a car. I walk places. I like taking the bus. I might even take a scooter. So I'm not going to use this, so it's not me you're talking to.
And also your, that would need to be removed also.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Nice job. We're not quite there yet, but you're on the way. So hold on. Who then? Who then? A future car takes, we can't just get rid of it because that's an object. Takes who? Johnny?
The driver.
Okay. But could it take a passenger?
Or, yeah.
People?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In this case, yeah.
So why don't we say a driver? Just to use that as our example.
You're not really driving.
There you
It's
go.
driving.
Yeah, right? Now it becomes a, wait a minute. How does a driver do that then? Is the person still, this is very confusing. Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about this with future cars. But with a future car that drives itself, does that make you a driver or a passenger?
I think you could definitely get away with this, like the word operator.
There we go.
Operator.
Car operator.
There we go. Future car takes the operator.
Because a passenger
That's
just sits there
awesome.
and doesn't.
I like that. We just
doesn't-
came up with a new way to describe the driver of a car.
An operator actually operates the machine. He doesn't.
Because
drive.
the operator operates the machine, but isn't driving the car.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, this is
Unless
complicated.
unless he leaves his hands on the steering wheel.
A future car takes the operator from point A to point B without touching your steering wheel. Well, that's good because I don't want anybody on my steering wheel. No, we need, so Sandra's suggestion was correct. We have to get rid of your. Whose is it? His or her steering wheel.
Say that,
Why? Why would I not say their steering wheel?
that,
Why would I not say their steering wheel?
because it's not,
It's not plural.
Another option is the.
no.
But if I write there, what have I done?
I believe that.
Operator and there,
Yeah.
this is plural,
And it's in-
and this is a singular. That doesn't match, does it?
no.
No, that doesn't match. So it has to match. Does his or her steering wheel match?
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Operator is singular. Is his or her singular?
Operator could be his or her.
Yes. What's the easier way? Somebody said it. Maria said it.
Steering.
The steering wheel. That's the easier way. The steering wheel. Okay. All right. So our final sentence. A future car takes the operator from point A to point B without touching his or her steering wheel. That's good. That's a good sentence. I would love to read a paragraph about that. You could tell me all sorts of information I didn't know. Johnny?
Yeah, I was gonna say basically you're trying to help us put together, like topic sentences, right? Like in this case, in order, in a way that strikes the reader's curiosity, so that he or she wants to,
That
read more
argues
about
a
it.
point as well.
Yeah, not just like, oh yeah, not telling somebody that you that already knows the following information, right? Just telling them something that that they don't know too much about.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're
Instead of
correct.
like just saying like Halloween's given out. I mean, candy's given out on Halloween. Everybody knows that, like you said,
But it's not. It doesn't provide an interesting dialogue.
Yeah.
Let's do one more, shall we? And then we'll call it a day, okay? One more. And the reason I want to do one more is because I want to make sure on Wednesday we get through them all and you have an opportunity to start working on the next phase of paragraph writing, which is the example, okay? And we need to learn these things in order to do that. So we'll talk about examples on Wednesday. So last one. Everybody have this?
Yes.
Yes.
Last one. So this individual, I think, may have struggled with the assignment because they picked an interesting topic, but they turned it into questions. So we're going to help them make a direct statement, okay? Let's see, here we go. Well, the circumstances regarding snoring, remember if this is yours, let's not let everybody know. And it's not Ginger's. I wasn't saying that to you. The circumstances regarding snoring are, and then this person put a question mark, okay? Now, the sentence here is a question. And even the question is a little bit, it needs a little improvement because the question is a little bit kind of out there, right? It's like, they are, and it's like the person's waiting for you to answer, right? So in a conversation, that's kind of how a teacher speaks sometimes. That's how I speak, right? I go, they are, and I wait for you guys to answer. But if you don't answer, then I'm just standing here with this sort of question trailing off. So, snoring are. Now, this person actually did a very good job of starting a sentence because they have an S and a V, don't they?
Subject circumstance.
The circumstances regarding snoring describes which circumstances, right, are what? Annoying.
Sleep apnea.
Sleep apnea.
We're getting medical together.
I don't know how to spell sleep apnea. Is that right?
Yeah, right.
Did I get it right? I just sounded it out in my head. Okay, we're going to capitalize it too because it's a condition, isn't it?
Right.
Yes.
Okay. The circumstances regarding snoring are sleep apnea. Is that really a good sentence? What could we say instead? Could we say our subject, since if you're telling me, Brian, that these things are the same thing, circumstances equal sleep apnea, then I could just say sleep apnea.
You could say the side effects of sleep apnea.
Can I just say that?
Yeah.
Isn't that easier? Sleep apnea causes snoring.
But it doesn't, that's not.
Okay.
Sometimes it's sinus problems.
Sometimes it's burnt out.
Sometimes that's true. But sleep apnea is one of the causes. Can be one of the
Can be.
causes. Okay. But does this say that there are no other causes? No, this just says that this is one cause. It says sleep apnea causes snoring. Well, sleep apnea does cause snoring. So if that's true, then we're fine. But why does that matter to me as a reader?
Still too broad. There are many things that cause sleep apnea.
Yeah,
What are
but I need to know a little bit more
What are
specific
they, though?
detail.
Right.
Well, with the.
Why is that important to know?
I think because the way he started the sentence, the circumstances regarding snoring are, it's not giving you the whole definition. You just want to ask the definition of it.
You could switch there.
All right, so I got a task for you guys for homework. You ready?
Question.
You're going to take this.
No.
Turn it into a subject.
Yep. Or this. One of these two. Nope. You're going to take this. You're going to follow what we did in class. And you're going to determine what the best topic sentence is. I need to know the attitude and the development. Attitude and the development. So, sleep apnea causes snoring. Why is that important to know? So tell me now. Think about it and do it for homework. In your journals, and on Wednesday when you come into class, we will write on the board and see how we did. Okay? And with that, you are good. Homework. That's your homework. Okay? Finish this one.
Not clear.
Finish this one, and you're going to tell. Remember all these sentences that we just did, like this one here. It says a future car takes the operator from point A to point B. Okay. Well, if I ended that there, it doesn't really make for a very interesting paragraph. But if I said a future car takes the operator from point A to B without touching the steering wheel, now I have something interesting to read about. This says sleep apnea causes snoring. Okay, this is a scientific fact, that it is one of the causes of snoring. Why does that matter to my reader? I need to make a sentence that adds the part that tells me why it matters to my reader.
You're putting substance into the sentence.
Substance. Does that make a little more sense, Sandra? I'm sorry, you asked the question. We'll work on it together, okay? We'll work on it together.
Thanks.
Whose pencil is this? Yours? That's it, guys. You're good to go. Have a good day. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Show up for class, please. You'll have an assignment over the weekend. If you miss class on Wednesday, you are losing points and you will not pass my course. Not trying to be mean, just being honest. I just have a lot of people who are kind of coming and going as they please, and that doesn't work. And I want to make sure that you are getting the passing grade you like. Oh, sorry. That's all.
Don't forget it wrong.
Unless you have a good reason, obviously, and we've talked about the reason ahead of time.
Okay. If we get it wrong, can we keep doing it until we get it right?
You okay with this?
Like your sweater.
Very good.
My colors.
Oh, right. See you Wednesday.
See you Wednesday. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Okay. So what we're doing, Anna. So what we're doing is we're adding the information that tells us why the writer is writing the sentence.